Studio Blue Radio is proud to present Raffa Music Show by Raffaela Madaffari. Check the microphone!
Hi everyone, welcome to the Raffa Music Show here on Studio Blue Radio. I'm Raffy, and today I have a very special guest, Samara Bradley. Hello, Samara.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. So you're in LA currently, right?
I am, yeah.
How is it over there?
It's getting cold, I have to say.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're not used to the cold weather anymore, are you?
I know, because I've been out here for six years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not used to it anymore.
Yeah, it's 65 degrees here today.
I think it's hotter
wild.
there.
It's wild.
Yeah. Wait, it's 55 right now.
Well, it's also earlier.
That's
it's
true.
only
Yeah,
noon.
the time difference.
So, but even so, I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you were born and raised in Philadelphia, right outside Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then what prompted you to move out to Los Angeles?
Well, I came out here for college, but I wanted to just be here. The first time I visited, I was like, wow, I really want to live here for a little. And so I just felt like I needed to. So I only looked at schools here.
Mm-hmm.
And I graduated and then just stayed.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
How was just that whole journey for you, that whole process?
It was different. I mean, it's still a lot to get used to. I think there's a lot of differences. I mean, firstly, just the weather, which I like much better. I like, I don't like the cold, but I do miss seasons. I feel fall I really love. And the people are different. I think it's a lot. I always talk to people about how a lot of times it's the people who move to LA and think that they're really cool, people from maybe small towns and stuff, and they make the experience kind of weird because they have this I don't know, I feel it's the natives are really great, but I find that it's the people from the small towns in the middle of nowhere who think they're really, really cool now tend to act out, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So you are a singer, composer, producer, instrumentalist, and performer.
Yeah.
How long have you just been into the performing arts?
Forever. I mean, I started with violin, actually. I think in second grade, but my parents are both musicians, so I've always been around music and wanted to be a part of the music world and everything. So yeah,
cool.
Just forever. I started singing, performing singing, I think, probably at the start of middle school.
That's awesome. You graduated from California Institute of the Arts, May 2019.
Yeah,
I did some
the last
research.
graduation.
So besides being a performer, is there any kind of other career path within the music world that you would want to go down?
I've thought about that a lot, and I don't think so. I mean, I've tried out different things. I've tried thinking of I've thought about, writing for other people, and I get too attached to my music. And when I think of what I really enjoy doing, it's just performing and writing my own stuff and recording my own stuff. I think I could engineer for other people. I could press record and maybe produce in the studio, but that's not it. Yeah.
So now when you make your own music, do you self-produce and just mix and master it yourself?
I produce and mix, but I send it to someone to get mastered. But yeah, everything besides the mastering is all me.
That's awesome. And that's such a good skill to have, because not only does it show your commitment to your music and stuff like that, but it also shows that you know what you're doing and you're not just like, give me some words to sing. Like, you're not like, right. No, like, this is my baby.
Yeah, and that's kind of like really important to me, especially because people tend to, especially like as a woman, people tend to look down on music and like choosing a non-traditional career path. So I like to kind of be like, well, I did this all myself and it sounds good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So your music has been described as 80s inspired R&B and pop. Mm-hmm. And just looking at your album covers, it's pretty apparent, because they literally look like, you know, records that are straight out of the 80s, and I love it so much. So what inspired you to go that route?
I think the music that I've always been drawn to, just like I've always loved listening to, are like, you know, 80s, like Michael Jackson or Prince. Mm-hmm. And I think I just absorbed so much of that, and then realized that like I don't know, I love the way that people wrote songs back then.
Right.
And that's what I end up gravitating towards, is like when I listen to songs, like I like the retro elements and stuff. So I was like, I've had teachers, like composition teachers, tell me, you got to get rid of that sound, it's too 80s. And I'm like, but I love it. And so I got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna like own it.
Yeah, you even have the hair for the 80s. You're like right in there. So you said your parents were both musicians. What kind of music do they make?
My mom does more like classical. She teaches classical piano. And my dad, he also plays classical, but he does kind of everything. Like he does jazz. He actually teaches at my high school. He was like my music teacher. He does the orchestra and the jazz band and teaches music classes and everything.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it in the family.
Right.
So you have also been performing. When would you say your like first actual like performance was, you know, like out at a venue rather than, you know, a school performance or something related to that?
I think I started performing, if I remember correctly, my either junior or senior year of high school, like in Philadelphia, with some friends, because all of my friends were musicians, so we would always play together, and just venues around town, local venues. And I did this program at the Kimmel Center, which is this huge performance center in Philadelphia. And through that, I started doing like jazz gigs around town, just like kind of jam sessions in Philly. So I think that was when I first started to go outside of the school bubble.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you singing or were you playing an instrument?
I was singing.
That's cool. Did you do that like improvisation, just like the ba-da-ba-ba, scatting and stuff?
Sometimes I would have to. I never really liked it, but I would.
I don't remember what I was watching, but I was watching something, and this woman, like, it was great, and I'm just like, I could never do that.
Yeah, it's really
like
cool.
Even just doing it now, I feel like I just did the like McDonald's theme song.
No, it's because the thing is, it's really easy to do wrong because you have to make your voice, like the whole point is to emulate like a horn, like a saxophone or a trumpet with your voice, and it's like a lot of singers can't do that, including myself. So that's why I don't want to do it if I'm not gonna do it right.
Now, with your singing, when you first started singing, did you find it hard to find your own voice, as opposed to maybe sounding like somebody else? For example, like if I don't have any original music, but I also sing, and I find that depending on what song I sing, I tend to make my sound more like the artist who originally sings it. And like, I haven't found my own voice yet, but like, how was that process for you?
That definitely was something I went through, especially like in middle school when I was like 10 or 11. And I remember specifically with Hannah Montana, because I was listening to so much Hannah Montana, and my dad was like, you have to stop. Like, he was like, you are not from the country and you have a twang. And I think that eventually became kind of a wake-up call, because like he showed me like a video of me singing before the Hannah Montana stuff and then after, and I was like, okay, this needs to change. And I think that was a good step in like kind of reminding myself, like, I need to find my own voice and not like take from whatever is in the media around me.
Right.
But it was definitely a process to get there.
So we are simultaneously in the past and the future right now, because this is airing on January 12th, but your last performance as of today, December 16th, was on December 12th. And how was that?
It was so fun. It was actually my first like 30 minutes, or my first full set with that was just like me. Like, I've never done that before. So it was really exciting. And it was at this cute bar in Hollywood. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And I watched the videos because it's hard to really hear what's happening when you're on stage.
Right.
But I watched the videos, and like, I really feel like happy with the performance. And I don't know, it just was a good feeling I just like that this is happening now.
Yeah. Especially, after quarantine and being stuck in our houses. So tomorrow is your next show. Is it at the same place or somewhere else?
It's at the Bourbon House in Hollywood. It's like close. It's literally like really close to the other venue. But I've never been there before, and I'm just gonna do the same set. But yeah, I don't know. It's just exciting to like be able to perform my own music. Yeah, because that's also something that I've performed my own music before, but just like a song.
Right.
And, like, I'm doing covers and originals, but I don't know, it's cool to see like people reacting and interacting.
Absolutely. Now, do you have like a backing band that you play with, or do you just go on and say, here I am?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I go on and I'm like, I'm here, it's just me. But because like I want to obviously eventually have a band,
right?
But in order to do my music the way that like I want it to sound, I would have to have a huge band, which
true.
Yeah, it's like too big for these venues at this point. And also people look down on using backing tracks. So I feel like whenever I'm doing something that people look down upon, I want to do it more. So it makes me want to be like, I'm using these tracks that I have created and I've put so much time and energy into. I want to show them off. There's no problem with it. I'm still playing all the instruments in them. I just can't play them all at once. And also I don't like my voice is my main instrument. I don't really want to perform playing the piano because I don't use it for performance. I just use it I don't know. So I kind of want to be like, maybe encourage people to use backing tracks and not feel weird about it. I don't like acoustic guitars and stuff. So it's like, I wouldn't be able to, my music wouldn't be the same if it was just someone with a guitar and me.
Yeah. And I feel like, with your own music playing in the background, you're just much more comfortable performing because it's almost like that security blanket, because it's like, I know what's coming next. I know that I'm not going to have to rely on somebody else who it might miss a note or who might mess up.
Yeah.
Just as long as you don't pull an Ashley Simpson, like, I think.
Right. It's like